Hey everyone, welcome back to Real Horror, where we dive deep into the darkest corners of true crime. The ones that leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about love, betrayal, and the monsters we let into our lives. Today, we're unpacking one of the most disturbing, heartbreaking, and downright infuriating cases you'll ever hear. Imagine this: a couple, drinking wine, doing puzzles, laughing, playing a childish game of hide and seek in their own home. Sounds innocent, right? Fun even. But what happens next turns that playful night into a nightmare that ends with a man suffocating to death inside a zipped-up suitcase, while his girlfriend records him begging for his life, laughing in his face, and then walks upstairs to bed like it's no big deal. Her name is Sarah Boone. His name was Jorge Torres Jr. And this, my friends, is the suitcase murder that shocked Florida and the world in 2020. A case so bizarre, so laced with lies, denial, and cold indifference that even seasoned detectives couldn't believe what they were hearing. By the end, you'll have to decide for yourself. Was this a tragic accident like Sarah claimed, or cold-blooded revenge dressed up as a game? Stick around, because this one is going to test everything you think you know about domestic violence, accountability, and how far someone will go when the mask finally slips. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and let's get into it. This is The Suitcase Murder, Sarah Boone's deadly hide and seek. To understand how we got here, we have to go back to the beginning of Sarah and Jorge's toxic whirlwind romance. Sarah Boone and Jorge Torres Jr. met in March 2016 in Philadelphia. Sarah was a single mom, divorced from her ex-husband Brian, with whom she shared a child. Jorge was 42 at the time of his death, originally from Puerto Rico, with family ties and a history that would later come into play during the trial. They moved in together just 4 months after meeting. Classic love-bombing speed that often signals trouble ahead. From the very start, their relationship was a powder keg. Court documents and police reports paint a picture of mutual domestic violence that spanned years. Jorge was arrested 4 times for alleged battery against Sarah. Each time, Sarah bailed him out. She stood by him, defended him, claimed she loved him enough to help him change. But Sarah herself wasn't innocent in the cycle. In July 2018, she was arrested for battery by strangulation against Jorge. She allegedly strangled him until he had trouble breathing, leaving red marks on his neck. That charge was eventually dismissed, but the pattern was clear: screaming matches, physical fights, police visits, and then reconciliation. By 2020, they'd relocated to Winter Park, Florida, near Orlando, a seemingly fresh start in a condo complex. But the violence didn't stop. Neighbors later told investigators they heard constant screaming. Property managers knew the couple as the ones always causing drama. Sarah's ex-husband Brian, who lived nearby and co-parented their child, would later testify about Sarah's drinking and the volatility. Jorge's family described Sarah as controlling, manipulative, someone who isolated Jorge from loved ones. Sarah would later claim in court and in her many letters to the judge that she was the victim of horrific abuse: kicked, punched, spit on, raped, stabbed, choked. She said Jorge was a monster. She kept forgiving because she loved him and believed she could fix him. She even said she knew Jorge better than he knew himself. But the evidence tells a more complicated story. Both sides hurt each other. Both were arrested. Both kept going back. Alcohol fueled it all. Wine. Lots of it. Night after night. Fast forward to the 23rd of February 2020. The couple had been through hell and back, but on this particular Sunday, things seemed almost normal. Or at least, that's what Sarah would tell police. They spent the evening on the back porch, drinking a bottle of wine, smoking cigarettes, talking. Then they moved inside for puzzles and artwork. Sarah described it as having a good time with one another. They were listening to music, trying to take stuff off the walls to make new art. It was supposed to be a relaxing, creative night. But as the wine flowed, the mood shifted to something playful. Or so Sarah claimed. Hide and seek. In their own apartment. Jorge, a grown man, decided it would be funny to climb into a large suitcase that was sitting in the living room. Sarah said he got in voluntarily. He thought it would be funny to be put in the suitcase. She zipped him up as a joke, planning to make him squirm a little. I'll zip you up and make him squirm a little bit, whatever it is. Then she fell asleep upstairs, forgetting he was in there. Or at least, that's the story she stuck to for years. But the evidence? It tells a far darker tale. On Sarah's phone, investigators would later find 2 videos and a still photo, time-stamped around 11:12 p.m. that night. In the videos, Jorge is zipped inside the suitcase. It's flipped upside down at one point. You can hear him struggling, pushing against the fabric, his voice desperate. "Sarah, Sarah, I can't breathe." He's calling her name over and over. He's panicking, begging. "Sarah?" She's recording it, laughing, taunting him. "For everything you've done to me. Fuck you." She references choking and cheating. "That's what you do when you choke me. That's what I feel like when you cheat on me." She's not scared. She's not trying to let him out immediately. The video shows her flipping the suitcase around, positioning it so he's even more trapped. No hole, no fingers poking out like she later claimed. Just Jorge fighting for air while Sarah mocks him. Then she goes upstairs to bed, leaves him there for hours. Over 11 hours, according to the medical examiner. He suffocated slowly, painfully, alone in the dark. The next day, around 12:30 p.m. on the 24th of February 2020, Sarah wakes up, comes downstairs. Oh shit, he's in the suitcase still. She unzips it, pulls him out. He's unresponsive. She tries CPR, calls her ex-husband Brian first, the one who lived down the street in Lake Wanata Cove. Then she calls 911. What follows is captured in raw bodycam footage that was played in court. Officers arrive at the condo. Sarah is outside, frantic but strangely composed in moments. She's cotton-mouthed, asking for water, a cigarette. "I really need something to drink. Let's play this out exactly as it unfolded." Is the red flags that investigators spotted immediately. Officer: "So you guys were playing hide-and-go-seek?" Sarah: "Yes, putting puzzles together, doing artwork, had a bottle of wine, and then decided to play hide-and-seek." She insists Jorge got in the suitcase himself. He thought it would be funny to be put in the suitcase. "So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna joke with you and I'll zip you up. But then I fell asleep." Red flag number 1. She forgot a grown man was zipped inside a suitcase in a small apartment for half a day. Brian, her ex, arrives. He's been calling all morning because it's supposed to be Sarah's day with their child. He says she's not reliable, tends to drink. He came over after she called him at 12:49 p.m. telling him what happened. Sarah keeps repeating, "I tried giving him CPR. I fell asleep. I don't know if he suffocated or had a heart attack or what." Officers separate them, talk privately. Sarah is calm enough to detail the night. Wine, puzzles, art, hide and seek. She zipped him up, fell asleep, woke up, found him. CPR. Calls. But then the injuries come up later in interrogation. At the station, detectives sit Sarah down. The body cam continues. But now it's formal questioning. Sarah sticks to her story. "We had a good time. Nobody laid a hand on anybody." But detectives have seen the phone videos. They have photos of Jorge's body, scratch marks on his back, from trying to claw his way out. She later admits were from sex earlier. Contusions on his shoulder, a cut near his lip, swollen mouth, bruising on his forehead and skull. Blunt force trauma? Sarah: "I haven't laid a hand on him. He fell off my son's bike. He's notorious for running into the wall." Detectives press: "What about the scratches on his back?" Sarah: "Sex?" They show her the video, the one where she's laughing, saying "fuck you." While Jorge begs, Sarah's demeanor shifts. She cries, "I really love him. I feel like I can help him." She talks about documenting his abuse against her, bloody fingers, split nose, etc. "He comes at me all the time. I flee or try to go upstairs." But the video? She claims it wasn't malicious. It's not malicious. She says Jorge was crying wolf, that he exaggerated. She thought he could get out. "My intention was not to leave him in there." Detectives: "But you went upstairs thinking he could get himself out?" Sarah: "Yes." They point out inconsistencies. No fingers out in the video. He's pushing, begging. She's the only one laughing. She's the only one saying derogatory things. Sarah gets defensive. You guys are kind of trying to feed me. She admits drinking but insists she had her wits. Detectives note neighbors said she was drunk daily, screaming at him regularly. Finally, after hours, do you promise everything you told us is the truth? Sarah swears yes. Then the cuffs come out. Stand up. Turn around. Hands behind your back. Sarah, why is this happening? Officer, because Jorge is dead. Sarah, not intentionally. She's arrested for second-degree murder. The autopsy confirmed suffocation. Jorge was in the suitcase for roughly 11 hours. The scratches? Consistent with desperate escape attempts. The blunt force? Possibly from the suitcase being flipped or prior struggle. No aneurysm or heart attack. Asphyxia due to positional asphyxia and restriction of the chest. The phone videos were the smoking gun, played in full for the jury. Jorge's voice, desperate, terrified. Sarah's laughter, cold. Texts, prior DV reports, neighbor statements, all painted the picture of a toxic, alcohol-soaked relationship where Sarah had enough. Sarah rejected a plea deal for manslaughter, 15 years. She went to trial in October 2024, claiming battered spouse syndrome. She testified she was terrified of Jorge, that leaving him in the suitcase was a split-second fear response. She thought he'd kill her if she let him out. I wanted him to understand how I felt. Her experts testified about PTSD, but the prosecution shredded it. The videos showed no fear, just taunting and revenge. That's what you do when you choke me. Jorge's family testified. His daughters and ex-wife called Sarah controlling. After 10 days, less than 2 hours of jury deliberation, guilty of second-degree murder. The 25th of October 2024. Sentencing the 2nd of December 2024. Life in prison. Judge denied new trial motion. Sarah read a statement. I forgive myself for falling in love with a monster. I am not a murderer. I am a survivor. She asked forgiveness but maintained it wasn't intentional. She'd written dozens of letters to the judge, some 58 pages long, full of word definitions, complaints about lawyers. She went through 9+, claims of judicial errors, maps, everything. Narcissistic, rambling, deflecting blame. So what really happened? The evidence screams revenge. Sarah had endured and dished out years of abuse. That night, with alcohol-lowering inhibitions, she saw her chance. Zipped him in, recorded his suffering as payback, left him to die slowly. Then spun the I fell asleep and forgot story. It wasn't self-defense. It was murder. Depraved indifference at minimum. But the jury saw second degree. She knew what she was doing and didn't care enough to save him. The case highlights the tragedy of DV cycles. Both were victims and perpetrators, but only one ended up dead. Public reaction was massive. True crime communities dissected every video, every lie. Sarah's letters became memes for their absurdity. Jorge's family finally got justice.